Good afternoon. Uh, at the outset, actually, I thank Dr. Pranay for inviting me to give this talk. And I don't want to stand between you and the lunch much longer. So, it is a concept, and the concept is evolving. And I thought, let me give some majority of the slides that I'll be presenting is pictorial in nature. Hopefully, I'll finish it in 5 minutes. And if you have got any queries, we can always discuss after the thing. So what is digital twin? The scenario is that with the advent of lot of technologies now, uh, the IoT sensors are actually in place. So whatever we see it in the real world, if we can replicate and simulate in the digital world is what we call digital twin. The processes, the behaviors, the relationships, everything should be part of it. And I'll explain with that. So what we did, we as a company, we started replicating the natural scenarios, the real assets of the world, and this is what we have started doing city by city. What we have initiated is because of a policy which is National Geospatial Policy by Government of India, wherein it has allowed the private Indian companies also to do the flying, not only the drone but also the manned aircraft. And through that, currently what we are doing is whole of Mumbai, we are doing whole of Varanasi. We have so far mapped around 15 cities. We are also doing Makkah in Saudi Arabia. So there is a different level of details, and that is what we are creating. So what I will be actually talking about, drone is just one element of it. When you do a survey, it has to be very holistic in nature. So whether you are going through the narrow lanes, whether you are going through the top, whether you are actually going through the river beds, different surveying technologies are to be deployed, and that is what we called Genesis constellation, and it is not mapping grade. When we talk about very centimeter level surveys, that is what we called engineering grade surveys. Now the data products that we create out of this whole thing, and that we will be doing for top 100 cities of the country now, is like you will be having the terrestrial imaging, you have got the mobile LiDAR, you have got this. So today probably many of you are aware that you are having this Google Street View. By virtue of the policy, what we are creating now, the Google Street View data is actually owned by us. We have licensed it to Google. And that is how the Indian companies are also getting a promotion by virtue of creating the data sets, also licensing it, and we are having our own platforms to disseminate it. The platforms that we are having is B2B, so we operate with one business to another business, and then that business can even become a citizen-centric affair. This is the kind of platform, so there are two parts of it. You see it from the top, the way you see it from the drones. You also see it all around the things 360 degree. So both the things are actually taken together. Very quickly, let me put across two things. There is a maturity model. So when, as per the Government of India, by 2035 you have got the digital twin of the major cities and towns of the country. So the maturity model is that first and foremost the foundation data. You should have the basic data in place which should be very accurate. We call it geometric twin. Then you add the information and the attributes on top of it, we call informative twin. Then all the sensors which are there, whether it is a temperature sensor, it's a automatic weather stations, whether it is any kind of sensor, CCTV camera, we integrate along with that. So real world feedback is coming through the IoT devices. We call it interactive twin. And then wherever it is possible through the artificial intelligence and machine learning, we automate that. And then finally the most tedious part is the predictive part of it, that if can you predict a cyclone, how much of damage it is going to cause, if there is a flood which is expected to be there, which are the areas which will be inundated by how much millimeter of rainfall. These are the kind of predictive modeling which we are also trying to do now. So this is just an example of the Bombay Coastal Road, and our data is very platform agnostic. So we work with whether it is a proprietary tools or whether it is a open source softwares. We operate in all of that. So this is one of the Unity platform through which the pictures and the models that we create, it is engineering grade data. Similarly, it is not only for the cities, for the hilly state also, like Joshimath, when it happened, we created this kind of city models for the Joshimath. We identified the cracks and a number of applications. So we are talking about the content part of it. We added the attribute information along with that. This is what we are talking about, the interactive. All the sensors are getting replicated. And this is how your integrated command and control system, different sensors when they talk to each other and then finally comes. This is how you actually see it in the dashboard. Of course, you do have this kind of framework in which various disaster management, and there are a number of applications which I'll be just giving a highlight. You are driving a direction, suddenly in fact there is a traffic which we all face, but now in the 3D environment you will be in a position to make it happen. This is just one example. Pollution. You can't see the wind and the air by the naked eye, but when we actually simulate, you can actually see the movement of the air all through the winds. So these are the things we have partnered with one company from France called Fluidin. These are all computer fluid dynamics which we are developing, and this is actually going to bring the next level of the digital twin models. So I'm not going through the whole thing. It's a description about starting from geometric to the predictive to it's a journey, and we have begun, and for certain application, and it is not monolithic. We can have the digital twin of only the railway corridor. We can have digital twin of only the water networks, and that is how we are working. This is just to give a very high level view of whether it is the master planning, public utilities, urban environment simulation, and their fire responders. There are different kind of applications. Each of these actually can be carried out in a series of workshops which we have carried out for last 3 to 4 years. And this is just to give a highlighting. Majority of the telco agencies are actually using our data in this affair. Property taxations are also there, energy demand, urban planning, all the master data will now be created through a government plan called the Department of Land Resources. Around 100 cities are now being taken as a pilot, and that job will be now carried out. So these are the kind of things. Thank you so much. If you have got any query, please let me know. Okay, thank you.